Alright, hopefully I have not already done this video still using the cell phone, so I accidentally pushed the on and off button, not to the camcorder, but to the actual phone, and it erased it, so that was nice. So hopefully I'm not re-saying stuff I already said, um, but I was going to show this, which is the Cobra Diver, and the reason I'm glad that they came out with the Cobra Eel, or originally the Torpedo, because they got quite a bit of use out of this, but I'm not sure if it's cartoon accurate. But it's cool to have kind of the I see this diver as not as you know expertise or experienced as a Cobra Eel. This is just basically a Cobra trooper that is in a diving suit, and when they just basically have to go retrieve something, and it's not really an espionage or um, like a sneak attack. They use these divers. And it's cool because it comes with the hard water element right there, that if you have the mass device or want to complete the mass device, you need that. So it's kind of cool that Hasbro released this figure and then also did the little sales thing right there, because it's kind of like the Pokemon version of G.I. Joe. You gotta collect them all or catch them all in order to complete it, and I think that's a smart and wise thing that Hasbro did. So you have that Cobra Trooper, Cobra Diver, Underwater Trooper right there. Of course, one opened and then that one so that I could complete my mass device. And then you also end up with Cobra Commander here, and I think this is the one that Cobra Chris 31 is saying that he has. You get the little, I think this is the meteorite stuff, but I'm not sure. But that's for the mass device as well. And then you get Tripwire here. He's also in that comic pack with Cobra Commander, but in order to get the element, if you want it or need it, you need to get this figure. And this is probably one that I've probably bought once before and probably will have to buy a few times if I keep losing that. I've only lost it sorta one time, and that was because somehow Duke got a hold of this part too. He just did not want me to finish my mass device for some reason. Just teasing, of course. So he was able to chew the bottom gray part and the clear part, separated them, and then he was able to get that yellow piece out and chewed on that. So I had to, thankfully, I already had two or three of these guys, because that is such a uh, accessory that's, in my opinion, needed. So should something ever happen, I always want to have a backup. So I have this one, and probably will have to buy a few more just so I always know that I have a replacement of that element should I need it. And then I can't again remember if I already showed him, but here's Heavy Machiner Gunner Roadblock in his second version uniform, and it's just kind of sad that they weren't able to give us a better face, because he just um, if you have this figure or can't really tell off the camera, he has too much of a kind of a baby face, and I don't think that face right there looks like a baby. I mean, he looks kind of rough and tough, right? And then this one's kind of like, oh, so he's just kind of a little softy guy looking guy right there. So, um, then I can't again remember if I talked about him or not. So here's Storm Shadow, and I basically was saying with this one, it's pretty cool to have because this is kind of where I think they got the idea for the Arctic threat. Storm Shadow Tree is not wearing a jacket, but he kind of still that one is wearing a jacket, and he kind of has this kind of paint motif. Then you end up with um, a Duke, but this time, thankfully, Duke was released, I believe, with his backpack, and I don't think he was originally. Um, and then you get the binoculars, which again, I don't think he came with, or he did, but they were too small, so it's good that they gave them. And so you get a Tiger Force. Tiger Force First Sergeant, codenamed Duke. And so that's in my opinion, a rather good one, and it's kind of nice too because you get fixed Duke arms right there, so that's cool. And then we'll go on to this. I'm doing this video again, so again, if I already said this stuff, I'm sorry. So this is the 5-pack that's kind of combating Firefly, but also supposed to be the good guy's side of what would go up against, in my opinion, the Cobra Night Watch. And most of these faces have already been used before, but it's an exclusive, and usually that's what they do. So like that, I think that's Colonel Breaker, but with blonde hair instead of the brown. So here they're just supposed to be just regular soldiers for the G.I. Joe team. Normally they're called the green shirts, of course, because of their green shirts. And then they're going up against Firefly. So kind of nice, but kind of cool too, because you get these little cardboard boxes right there. And I'm not sure if you can, like if they're enclosed on the other side, but it's nice. And I have 2 of those, but just haven't opened them because there's really no space or really any real need for them right now. And then we have this one here that if you have not opened or have any of the Red Ninjas single carded, this is a great way to get quite a few. You get Snake Eyes versus the Red Ninja Trooper. Snake Eyes is up there. And even though it says Trooper, you actually get the Red Cobra Ninja, but you also get the Red Cobra Ninja leader right there. And how you tell which one is supposed to be the leader is he's got kind of a brown painted vest, and the rest of them are all completely red. I like that one right there, how he's kind of fending off Timber. So nice little display right there. And we've got 2 of those because I've already opened one of them. Then we'll go on to the kind of at the time, and maybe even now, still seen as the online exclusive 5-packs, or is it 7? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 7-pack, and this is the winter one. Get quite a few troops of different kinds, and it's kind of nice. You get a little Arctic Televiper right there. And so I have that one, and then that one, and then I have this over here, of course, that I opened, and so I got all my desert ones and the Arctic together. Alright. And then this is the desert one. So again, different kinds of troopers here. And then you get, another Major Blood, and so not very cartoon accurate, but maybe he's closer to what he looked like besides that little dust mask, closer to what he looked like as a figure back in the 80s. And there's the rest. So I have one open and then that one, and then I'm assuming I probably have one somewhere else. And then we go into the Resolute 5-pack, and this is the second Resolute 5-pack that came out, because the first one is, I think, all the same characters, but they're not in red. Doesn't want to stay open, but so yeah, here you get the Trooper, Cobra Commander, and then an officer, and you mostly tell that this is an officer because he's got the symbol up there and this one doesn't. And then I can't remember if the other Resolute pack came with a bat. I seem to think it was three of the troopers and then maybe a Duke. But here, this is kind of cool. You know, even if you have the other pack, um, you get a Duke, but this one is kind of Duke in his flight suit, and he comes with a little backpack. You know, the one that came with. Oh, and I'm out of time. I'm sorry.